Good morning and welcome everybody to this session for the Reusable Packaging Association Learning Center. My name is Tim Dobson, and this is Julian Gruska, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about your digital transformation and kind of where to start off in the process in the identification part of the project. So, first slide. We are PMG Labels and Brand Secure System, all in one company, but two different branches. PMG Labels is located in Goodyear, Arizona. We have we've tripled in size on employees, so we're now sitting around 30 employees there. And that's where we manufacture our ruggedized industrial labels and RFID labels. We have an affiliate in Europe with about 50 to 60 employees that covers all of the European nations in the Eastern Hemisphere. What PMG Labels offers, we offer a variety of options, including RFID labels, barcode labels, and security labels. We specialize in the customization and special orders that each label can be customized according to your wishes. We also manufacture highly durable passive RFID labels, industrial grade barcode labels, special label solutions, printed security, and the counterproof brand secure system, which Julian's going to be talking about today. We represent in every industry. One of our main markets is what you see here today in the Returnable Packaging Association. With the returnable containers, you have to have a sustainable label to last the life of some of these containers that have long life cycles, up to 20 years in many cases. So to have an industrial ruggedized label is very important. We also are represented in food and pharma, and a lot of delicate situations there with different regulations that we can help you out with along the way. Here are some photos of some of the labels that we offer. The ESD, which is electrostatic discharge label, in case you have electronics in your returnable containers. We have a label to service that need. Loot tags, which can go around cable wires or jewelry or whatnot, to pull away that RFID tag away from whatever product that you are applying it to. We have Works on Metal. We have 3 different versions of that, depending on the density of the environment and the density of the materials in the substrate. Our RFID labels can handle those situations. We have the standard on-mold labels, and every on-mold label is unique depending on when it's applied, and what part of the process, the different materials that go in with that. And then we have the NFC on metal tag as well for the near field connectivity. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about global counterfeiting, product piracy, and how you could possibly cover your supply chain with an extra layer of added benefits. Counterfeiting is becoming a larger problem each and every year. We see up to $4.5 trillion per loss every year in revenue globally. 60% of all counterfeited products are targeted to the U.S., and in over 50% loss of trust and brand protection after buying in the counterfeit product. So not only are we providing and covering your supply chain needs, we can also protect the products on the inside as well.
All right, so I will take over. And we wanted to ask ourselves the question, how can your customer digitally verify your product's authenticity? That's because, just as Tim said, global counterfeiting is a huge problem. And I just talked to Rob Fraser yesterday, who you may have heard here. He talked about how to implement RFID. And he told me that around 3% of Chinese GDP are actually just based on counterfeits. So we wanted to make products more counterfeit proof, and make them digital. I hope you will all understand my English. He said we have 2 different locations. I'm obviously not from the US. I come from Europe. But I hope you can follow along when I'm going to talk in English about global counterfeiting. So we wanted to improve the tracking along the supply chain and just take it further. And that's when we came into place with the Brand Secure system. It's our new software solution, the Brand Secure system. You will see it's all based on our labels, since that's where our experience comes from. We have our Brand Secure label, which is a tamper-proof label that consists out of 2 QR codes. We have 2 unique QR codes that can track down every single product. You can either have a label on your existing products, or you can implement our QR codes when we just send you a PDF file and you print it right onto your product. Why do we want to do that? I will show you in the next slide. It's our labels that will give you, the end customer, the option to track down the product and tell him whether it's an original product or not. So you have to just visit the website, in this case, for example, verify.brandsecuresystem.com or whatever your company is called, and then the end consumer opens or scratches away the seal on the second QR code, and then he will get an information whether this is an original product manufactured by your company or whether it might be a fake. On the other side, we have an open QR code on the left side. You can read it, digital product passport. It's a huge thing already in the EU. However, it's coming to the US as well. And consumers want to know all the information there is that you can have about your product. So we can implement all sorts of information behind that QR code, and the end consumer can get the information right in front of him, right at the supermarket where he's going to buy it. It's a two-value product, so two double-sided value. Once the consumer, of course, knows whether he has an original product. At the same time, you as a manufacturer get the data behind it. Usually we keep track of our products within a supply chain with RFID. However, we lose track of the product once it gets to the end customer. Then you don't know anymore where your product is. In that case, when an end consumer scans it, we can instantly track it down through the IP address, and we know if I sold my product yesterday in the US, however it gets scanned tomorrow in Europe, then I know all the way that the product came over to Europe. I will know where exactly is my consumer, and if he's willing to give even more information, then he can put behind also his phone number, email address, whatever you would like to know of your end consumer, and target him directly afterwards. So we can keep track all along the supply chain, not just with RFID, once it's in your warehouse or during your logistics, however, when it gets to the end consumer. It's an easy process because we want to also track down individual batches. We have often a problem that individual batches might have a mismanufacturing part within them, and you need to target your consumer directly. I know this from I had this just a few months ago. I live in Sweden, and they had a problem with orange juice, that there was just a bad batch of orange juice. And then they had to inform all the supermarkets there, and the supermarkets hung up those information labels that if you bought a specific batch of that orange juice, you need to throw it away or give it back to the supermarket. However, if you can target your customers directly and say, hey, you bought the orange juice since you scan your batch right there, you can send them an email, shoot them a message and tell them, hey, you got a wrong batch. Not everyone's gonna, of course, scan a pack of orange juice. However, with the more valuable the goods become, the more important it's gonna be for the end client to verify whether it's an original product or where it comes from. For example, for orange juice, you want to know, are those oranges manufactured in which continent, under which circumstances, is it sustainable? All those information are important for the end client, and then the other side, for you as a manufacturer, you get all the data behind it and can work with it. It all comes together out of 4 different parts. So we talked a bit about our label. Of course, it's customizable to your specific needs. If you don't want to implement the label directly into the packaging via printing it, we can deliver the label behind it. It all comes together within the database. So in our database, we track down all the data, however, give it directly to you. It's a subscription-based model. You either get just the QR codes from us or the labels, but the software always comes with it. We can directly implement it into your website through an app. So it's either an integrated app or a web-based app. Often for example, with Nestle or Unilever and so on, they just implement it directly into their app, and then I have verify.unilever.com, and I know whether it's the product I wanted to buy. And in the end, it comes together with a dialogue. So it's an easy exchange between the end consumer and the manufacturer. At the same time, sometimes I lose track through different distribution levels. I don't know what my big distributor is actually doing sometimes. So if I ship everything to a big distributor in one continent, and he does some stuff that I'm not aware of. So he maybe ships further to a country that I didn't want him to sell in the first place. That's the reason we do this also for the manufacturer, so you can figure it out what your distributor is actually doing. Sometimes that's big information that you're not aware of in the first place. And it's of course a huge leap in the trust in your brand, reliability, and it's a marketing tool which is just great to target your end consumer directly, because each product is going to be individual through an individual QR code, so you can track down every single consumer. As I just said, marketing is a huge opportunity through this. It's a very cheap and cost-effective solution because a QR code is way cheaper than, for example, RFID. At the same time, it opens up opportunities for cross-selling, upselling. You don't often have all your product line in one supermarket, in one shelf, however, just a few examples. And when the end consumer buys it, he can scan through the QR code and get access to all the other information you will give him. For example, a loyalty program, or the opportunity to buy even more through a discount with the next shop, target him directly to the next supplier, or target him directly to your web shop. All those opportunities are up to you. And through our dashboard, you have the opportunity to just regulate it yourself whenever you want to. You don't need to reach out to us and ask us to customize it or configure it to you. We simply supply the QR codes or the labels behind it, and you can all the time access your dashboard. You get the access to that, and then just play around with the information you want to give to your end consumer in the digital product passport, and whatever you want to put behind it, embed it into your web app. It's very easy. Thanks a lot. That's already all the information we had today for you at the Brand Secure System. We were very quick. However, you can always find us at our booth right in this hall, ask us about it, and we have some samples back there as well of our product, where you can just see with an envelope how we track down an envelope, just to show how it's done. Thanks a lot.